Good morning, welcome to another episode of Floodwatch. Today feels a little bit different. There is a chill in the air. Current reports indicate that the weather has the temperature at approximately 1 degree Celsius or centigrade for those of you in Europe. Various patches of ice on the floor, bits of hail suggest that what rain did fall last night turned to ice, as it is wont to do when the temperature is low enough. My breath is missing in the air because of science, presumably, with frozen puddles. Interested to see how this affects the dynamic of the water in the flood. As you can see, I'm wearing wellies today because that way I can provide more accurate and close-up reporting of the flood. As you can see, these neighbours have put bags in front of their front door, as though that will help. Bags for life, obviously, which demonstrates a certain dedication to the cause of not being flooded. While these neighbours closer to the river have done nothing at all. So, the duality of man, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't expect Floodwatch to get so philosophical, but here we are. As you can see, the grass is crispy, lovely crunchy grass. We shall see. I didn't move my incredibly helpful stick yesterday, so we shall see how the floodwaters have reacted to that. This puddle, interestingly enough, is not frozen. I don't know what that means with regards to temperature, flood, anything like that. I just report the facts as I see them. So we can see that the floodwaters have in fact receded somewhat by approximately 1.8 metres. So that's the incredibly helpful stick. There's another close-up for you. We can see that floodwaters have deposited quite a lot of dirt and things, but then we obviously quite quickly, immediately enter the deep, incredibly cold floodwaters, as they are. This perimeter up here, pretty obvious. All the flood has extended all the way up that drainage ditch, all the way along there. Let's go and have a quick look around the other side. Obviously this woodland also very flooded, lots of water everywhere. These molehills, just as they were, really no difference there. Probably a bit more frozen than they are normally. So this strip of land goes all the way up along, sort of goes alongside the estate, separates it from the beasts in the forest. So here we have a small path, or snicket as it is known, leads down to the edge of the river, and this is also flooded. Still was flooded, was more flooded than this, I think. Previously it felt deeper. As you can see, it's coming up to about my ankles, and it's also, I don't know whether you can see, it's very, very ever so slightly frozen, but it breaks basically straight away. All this is flooded. All of this is underwater. Some of it frozen, some of it not. As you can see, not only underwater, quite a lot of grass. A bit of label there of something. Floodwatch is longer than yesterday, because the people demanded it, and I, who have been called the hero of Primrose Close, am nothing but, if not willing to accede to the demands of the people. I now feel like maybe I'm about to get water in my wellies, but it's gonna, if that happens, then it happens. So we're gonna forge ahead. Or are we? Should I turn back? Only time will tell. I'm going to move ever onwards here. I think it gets shallower again. Oh, I actually went on tiptoes. There was a bit of tension for you there. We'll add some exciting music in post, just for a sort of sense of danger that I'm sure everyone expects and loves in their flood-based documentaries. I can see from here, don't know whether you can see it, the river is still running incredibly full and incredibly high. ladies and gentlemen of the flood channel. Floodies? Floozies? That kind of works. It's not very good. That's what I'm going to call fans of the Floodwatch. Let's go. I'm going to keep workshopping that. So obviously the river is to my left, or west. As you can see, it's still running incredibly full. So those of you familiar with the area will know that it's not normally this full or this high. This bank here, no longer as flooded as it was. The water is honestly probably about 15 to 20 centimetres lower than it was, because it was flowing up this bank and then down there previously, and it's not anymore, which is good. The bank here normally drops off by genuinely about a metre into the river, so the river is still running incredibly high and incredibly full. Found an incredibly helpful stick here. Obviously that's becoming somewhat of a theme. You can see that wasn't filming it properly. That's the edge of the bank there, so the water is a good, the water is a good half metre lower, and then other than that the river is as deep as it normally is. And also, look, this will give us a good indication of how quick the river is flowing. Normally it's a reasonably sedate river, but look at that son of a bitch go. Obviously these floodwaters are still running pretty strong, pretty fast. Technically those woods to the other side of the river, for the purposes of town planning and so on, are floodplains. They were built around with drainage in mind. This is normally a nice little path, goes alongside the river, also flooded. I want to show you the bridge, and then we'll call this episode of Floodwatch a day. That stick that I threw in the river has got caught. That's not that interesting anymore. Obviously this all massively underwater compared to how it normally is, and you can see that the water is normally about 2 metres under that bridge. Today much higher. That's a lorry, not relevant, but I thought I'd share that with you. It's been Floodwatch, ladies and gentlemen. Best of luck with your days. I hope you all have a cracking time. I'm sorry, Emma, the Titans aren't very good.